Hello my friends, welcome to another video. My name is Christina, and in today's video I'd like to help you to understand how to deal with difficult and dysfunctional family dynamics and how to handle the situation in the best way possible that both benefits you and benefits them. Because we must handle our family and our friends and our whole life in the most compassionate and loving way possible. And I hope that this video is helpful. And thank you so much for being here. So when I think of family and dysfunction and difficult, I think of extremes, and I know that a lot of us are dealing with similar situations, and a lot of us in the world may be dealing with family members who are facing addiction and traumas, and perhaps it's a never-ending cycle of problem after problem, or perhaps we face families with difficult chronic illnesses that we need to be there for them all the time, constantly, and it can create a pattern of codependency from our part and their part. So I want to help you to recognize this pattern and hopefully break the pattern of codependency, and also to create some sort of boundaries that protect you, because if you are always the caretaker of the dysfunctional family members, and at times from my experience, what I've seen in the world, there's a lot of times where there's one normal person, or I'm not saying there's normal, but they have their life together, and everybody else in the family depends on that one person, and that one person will be very helpful and caring and loving towards each and every other person, and then the whole weight of the family lies on that one person, and then that person will be burned out and burdened by the family issues. And in my situations, from what I've seen a lot in the world, is that one person can only handle so much, and then they will not be able to do it anymore. And the reason why I want to talk about this topic so much, and why I'm so passionate about this topic, is because I want you to prevent burnout, prevent you feeling a sense of resentment towards your family, because we love our families, right? We just want what's best for them. And if there's so much dysfunction that it's incapable for you to function in the family, and there's only 90% of the times it's only drama and fights and quarrels and just so much negativity, it will take a very big toll on your mental and physical health. And there comes a point where you will not be able to handle it anymore, and you might get sick, or you might face resentment, and also you might want to cut them out of your life. And there's so much that comes with this topic, and it's very heavy, and I want to bring some compassion and love towards all of the family dynamics, and this is why I want to talk about this topic today. And this is not a judgment towards people who are dealing with traumas and addiction and in and out of jail or difficulties, but we must protect ourselves, because we are all responsible for our own lives at the end of the day. So the family is the most difficult topic because, first of all, our families are so ingrained in our bodies, in our society, and everybody, there's a sense of responsibility towards your family, especially towards your parents and your siblings too, but especially towards your parents, because there is a sense of ownership, and you feel like you owe them, and they feel like they own you. And the truth of reality is that we choose our family before we are born, and this is my belief system, and you don't have to adopt this belief system, but it helps me to feel a lot better about the family that I have chosen to incarnate in this lifetime with. And I know that a lot of people struggle with this idea of having family members who are difficult and you don't know how to handle it. So I hope that this video helps you, and I will be sharing more tips and tricks of what I've learned and what I have seen in the world, because I used to work as a registered nurse, and I would see family after family after family in the hospital, and both in their homes, because I worked as a home health and hospice nurse. And when you work as a hospice, it's usually with the whole family, and you get to really learn about dynamics, and you get to help with a lot of the times more than one person at a time. And it's really interesting to be there for the whole family and help them through this transition into the afterlife. So we get to choose our families before we are born, and this to me gives me a great deal of compassion for myself and for my family. And I don't want to judge them, and I don't want to cut them out, or let's say blame them for anything, right? I just want to love them, because that's all I have for them. I only have love for my family. And I know that a lot of you guys only have love for your families, no matter how bad they may act towards you, or no matter what the actions are, no matter what they're dealing with. All you want to do is love them and give them compassion and love. And all you want to do is you want the best for them. You want them to get back on their track, and for them to be successful and happy and calm and peaceful, and to be able to overcome their traumas, and to be able to come into their power and to be functional. And we only have love for our families, and I truly believe this. I know that most of us just want to help our families in the best way possible. This is why you may feel burdened by their problems and their toxicities, because you just want to pull them up. But a lot of the times we are unable to help them that way. Let's say you're swimming and somebody's drowning, and if that person doesn't want the help, and you keep pulling them up and they keep pulling you down, and they just don't want to be pulled up, you're not going to be able to save them, and you're going to die with them. So this is a very important lesson to learn. And this took me a very long time to learn, that how do we help our family members is sometimes you have to stop helping, because no matter how much you helped, and the more you help, seemingly the more they will create the same situation over and over again. So it's, we have to use our intuition and our critical thinking to know when to stop giving and when to stop caretaking for family members who are dysfunctional and toxic, and they don't want the help. Essentially, they don't want the help. So no matter, and I've heard this topic a lot of saving people, and I just want to save my daughter's marriage, or I want to save my sister from her dysfunction, or I want to save my brother, or I want to save my son. And I just want to tell you guys a big and powerful truth, that we cannot save anybody, and we cannot even save ourselves. We cannot save people from their own dysfunction and from their own doing of their own harm to themselves. You can only try so hard, but if a person keeps going to that situation and to that dysfunctional relationship, let's say, or they keep going and making conscious decisions to abuse other people or to get in the system and to be, in jail or whatever, then there's only so much you can do. You have only a certain amount of power, and sometimes backing away from them and like taking some distance and some space is the best thing you can do for yourself and for them as well. Because when you, and it depends, on the situation. I'm not saying cut them out of your life completely. I don't believe in that. Honestly, I don't, because I used to believe that. But it depends on the situation, how bad it is. Because there might be a time in your life where you need to cut them out for a little bit, for a few years, or depending on the situation. And the more you take this time to work on yourself, to work on your own trauma healing and your own, essentially your own codependencies and your own issues, the more they're going to work on their selves and themselves and their own traumas, and they will be able to heal better unless you stop interfering with them, right? Because we think that we're saving them, but we are not able to save anybody. I just want to put that out there. And at times we will interfere with their growing, because if, let's say, somebody needs to learn a lesson, a very painful lesson of, let's say, going to the same dysfunctional relationship over and over and over and over again, but they have not learned that they're worthy of love and of receiving something better from the universe. And every time they're going through, let's say, that breakup, and they call you and they ask you for your help, and you keep giving it to them, and then they go back to that situation over and over again, and you will feel powerless, because you're trying to save this person from their own selves. And at the end of the day, we are not able to save anybody. And they will learn eventually, when you stop helping and when you stop interfering with their problems, that, I need to end this relationship, or I need to stop doing what I'm doing, and I need to get better. And at times they never learn. And this is what comes with this dynamic: a lot of pain and suffering and a lot of sorrow. But I just want to encourage you, as you are going through this, that it's nobody's fault. You're not responsible for their wrongdoing, and they're not responsible for you. And essentially, at the end of the day, we have the power to change ourselves only, and you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink it, right? And even Jesus, teaches on this, and a lot of people teach on this, that don't cast pearls onto swine. So you cannot, when you keep teaching people and keep giving your compassion and wisdom to people, and you think you can help them, but at the end of the day, if they don't accept the help, if they don't want to change, and when a person wants to change, and when they are making an effort at least to make some shifts in their lives, and like, there's so many opportunities in the world right now. We have an endless amount of information and of help. Like, if you actually want the help, there is always a way to receive the help. And sometimes the best thing you can do for the people that don't want the help is to really pray for them and give them compassion through the energy world, instead of, let's say, you're trying to help them so much in the physical world and calling them all the time and listening to their problems and everything, and it only leaves you burdened, and it only leaves you feeling stuck and unable to help actually them. And they keep going to the same situation, or they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And there's only so much you can handle, right? There's only so much drama you can handle, and it will affect you. If let's say your family members come over a lot, and they cannot, let's say, they cannot hold a position, a job position, or they cannot have their own lives put together, and they keep coming and crashing at your place, and they keep depending on you, and you keep allowing that to happen, it will only take a toll on you and then your family and as well. So you can break the pattern of codependency by just stop being the helper, by stop enabling people, right? And you can do this by changing the dynamics, and slowly and surely you will be able to make some progress. But sometimes it takes many years to be able to work with family dynamics and to learn, because you're here to learn too, and I'm here to learn as well, right? So we are here to learn what we are doing to interfere in their learning. Also, we are here to learn our own patterns of overgiving, of over self-sacrificing, our own love and our own compassion for the sake of other people. And they're learning their own their own lessons, right? So when we learn to stop overgiving, when we learn to stop babying people who are adults, essentially, and create some sort of boundaries, like they can't have access to you all the time, and you know, they can't crush on your couch every time that they're going through a difficult time, or whatever else that the boundary that you need to create in your life to be able to feel at peace and to not have all the time interference in your own life, right? Because it's easy for people to bring their own garbage and put it on your own sofa and beautiful house, and to just bring their garbage and put it everywhere, right? And there comes a point where you have to just set the boundaries with love and compassion and be like, okay, you just can't keep doing this. This is never going to change, right? And another thing you can do is look at your own beliefs and change them about why do you feel that you have to save these people. Like, usually it comes from childhood, and you may feel that you are the only one who can help them. And this does them a great and big disservice. And also imagine if how much you are not giving them the opportunity to change, and you're not giving them the opportunity to grow, and that you're taking away from them these beautiful and big lessons that they need to learn. And by enabling them, by giving them the money, let's say, to buy drugs, or by keep allowing them to live at your house, or by keeping them, you are babyifying them and making them seem like they cannot do it for themselves. And there is sometimes when people just cannot handle life and they cannot do anything for themselves. But that means that if they cannot do it for themselves, they need to allow other people to do it for them. But there is many times where people they know that they cannot do it for themselves, but they're not going to accept the help, and they just want to put their dramas and traumas onto other people. And I just want to encourage you to really stop the cycle of codependency and to look at your own self. Why are you perpetuating this, right, in your own families and in your own lives? And by working on yourself, the more you work on yourself, the more you give that compassion, self-love, and you send them energy through prayer, through compassion. You can do it through the energy world, right? Through the angel airwaves, or through just, you know, they have done studies on this, where you send love through the heart and to another person, they will feel it, right? So you don't need to worry about them and keep physically being there for them if they're not able to accept the help. And there comes a time where the people are ready and they want to go to rehab, let's say, or they want to change. And when that happens, it's beautiful and you can help them, right? But if that person is not ready to accept the help, let's say if somebody comes to the hospital with a broken limb and they will not accept the cast or the surgery that is necessary, and the doctor keeps telling them and over and over and over again how important this procedure is, and all they want is pain medication, so let's say, or they just want somebody to feel sorry for them, or whatever the situation may be, right? This is just this is a pure example, but you can apply this to anything, right? So when a person comes to the hospital, and even for another situation, and the doctor tells them, you need this medication, you need this procedure, you need this surgery, right? And if the person says, no, thank you, excuse me, then there's nothing that the doctor will be able to do in order for them to be saved. Because we live in the world of consent, right? So if that person doesn't give their consent to the procedure or the medication or, the cast or the anything, right? So the doctor has no power. This is how we are with our family members, right? If the person has signed an AMA form, like, I don't want the help, I just want you to feel sorry for me, and I just want you to listen to my problems all day long, and I'm never going to accept the help that you're giving me, then what's the point, right? You can only give so much. And this is what happens at the hospital, right? So if the person doesn't want the medication, doesn't want the procedure, doesn't want anything, they just want a room to stay in and receive the food or receive the pain medication, and they don't want to get better, then essentially they're gonna get kicked out of the hospital. And a lot of the times there are people like that in the hospital. Sometimes they live there for months and months and months, and there's some hospitals that aren't able to remove these patients from the system because there's just so much protocols that, but people will take advantage of the system and of you and me because they know that they can. So we have to set the boundaries, and it's up to us to set the limits. And the more you work on your self-love and self-compassion and self-acceptance of you, of who you are, that you are worthy of love and of compassion and to deserve good treatment, that your needs matter just as much as their needs, then the more you will be able to not accept this unfair and rude treatment, because it's up to you to end the cycle, because they'll never, learn otherwise. And I have a 3-day self-love challenge that you can take. It's down below. It's for free, and I teach you how to set boundaries and where do these patterns stem from. And with awareness, we can change the world, we can change ourselves. And imagine a world where everybody takes responsibility for their actions. Everybody takes mature action, and we are responsible for our own selves. And I just encourage you to take this self-love challenge, and you can also work with me one-on-one by clicking in the link below. You can learn more about that. I offer one-on-one sessions and coaching packages as well. And I thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that this was helpful. I encourage you to take care of yourself the best way that you can, and also comment in the comments below what are your thoughts on this topic. What have you learned? Because I am always willing to learn more and more, and maybe any book recommendations that you guys have on this topic, because I have learned a lot throughout my years of learning and researching, and there's always more to learn. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Please subscribe, like, and share with a friend or a loved one who may need to hear this today. Thank you. Bye-bye.